Hello, everybody. Well, we are back. It's been a bit of a, while since we've um, been able to come to you to talk racing, but we are here. I'm here. Graydon is here, and we are going to chat, talking about the weekend's races at Atlanta. They were definitely Atlanta races. I guess we can definitely say that they were what we've expected in the past, and that doesn't always mean it's great. Graydon, welcome in, my friend. Um, we have a lot to talk about, not just from the racing weekend, but what we have to look forward to here at Stickers and Scuffs. And let's just test out that mic and see if I can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Wow, that's a great mic, dude. I don't think we need to go anywhere further than that. You've got your mic already, my friend.
Nice. This is kind of the communal mic right now. This is actually Owen's headset, so maybe we'll just pick ourselves up another one of these bad boys.
That's actually, you know what, buddy? That's crystal clear. I think that's
Awesome.
a really, really solid one. We are, talking about the Atlanta 3 races that we just had. I'll be honest with you, snooze fest all weekend long. That was awful in terms of racing. And I think this is something that we would have seen though for years. Let's be honest. We used to see this type of racing all the time in NASCAR. We used to see it with Jimmy Johnson just go out and dominate week in, week out, would just get up to 11-second lead. Now, the finish, of course, great, but in the end, there wasn't a battle for the lead. It was Blaney caught him and passed him, and there was no fight. And that kind of sucked. So let's chat. Graydon, first off, the truck race. Wow.
Yeah, I don't like to, for one, typically paint an entire upper tier NASCAR weekend with a broad brush, but I mean, this race weekend at Atlanta, you kind of could. I mean, none of them were particularly barn burners of any kind. Matt Yoakum, I saw tonight, made a great point on Twitter that it may be time for a repave. And he makes great points. I mean, I almost feel like I should have thought of this being in road building business. It gets to a point where a road gets so rough, and in this case, the racetrack gets so rough that there's only cars have to take a certain route to get around things, and that can interrupt the quality of the racing. Not to mention the whole other aero talk conversation. We'll just kind of leave that to what it is. But I think there's a lot of contributing factors that Yoakum's got it right. I think we're going to see a repave at Atlanta. That's that again. Like I said, I don't want to paint the whole weekend with a broad brush, but I think we have to take that into account with each of the races that we saw, and we get to see again later this year for the most part. But the trucks,
and I'm not opposed to it. I know.
No, I love the history of Atlanta, and maybe we can recapture. They talked about doing the flip flop of back to its old configuration, making the front, the back stretch again, and maybe we'll see that and see kind of a new lease on life for Atlanta down the pipeline.
They got to do something. I listen. I know the drivers love it, but it's not a good product.
No,
and I mean, it was great back in 01 and 02. But we haven't, like, the last time that Carl Edwards, I think that finish with Jimmy Johnson is one of the most famous finishes that it had there. Obviously Earnhardt and Labonte, and then of course one of the best finishes ever was Harvick and Gordon in 2001. But aside from that, Graydon, it's been Harvick's track for years where he just goes out and dominates. And I like Harvick. I'm a Harvick fan, but I don't want to see that. And I think we as NASCAR fans are evolving with kind of society, and that our attention spans aren't what they used to be. Let's be honest. Fans used to be able to sit there and watch a 3-hour race where it's the same guy leading the entire time. But people don't want that, because I'll tell you why, Graydon. You and I, we love the NASCAR Pinty Series. We go to a Pinty Series race. Yeah, for the most part, you can have a guy go out there and lead from start to finish, but the battling is all the whole race long.
Right.
This is not the same, man. It is not. It was a parade. It was a parade all weekend. And while what I think a lot of us tend to do, and I'm guilty of it myself, is I'll like the finish of a race and then say that it was a good race. That's not reality, though. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah, that's a natural thing. And a lot of the times, I mean, you look at the Atlanta does a good job of reminding us of the Harvick versus Gordon and the Jimmy Johnson versus Carl Edwards. But yeah, you don't ever see highlights from the middle of a race ever in in a promo, right?
And you're right, because that's 18 years ago or like, you know what I mean? Like that's sad when you're relying
on 2 generations, almost 3 ago.
Exactly. You've NASCAR fans that have never even seen it. Your kids probably, they weren't even born yet when those races were happening, right? So
it's kind of neat that you brought them into that, because we had the conversation as we were watching it, because like we watched it and they just said this just isn't entertaining. Like, it was boring. No. They were playing Minecraft and on their iPads and stuff.
Because, oh God.
they were still watching it, like paying attention.
Yeah.
Like our fantasy, or the fantasy team that I'm participating with this year. I mean, we've got that, which makes it sort of compelling that way, which adds a layer to it, which I like. It makes a boring race sort of interesting for me in that respect. Yeah. So it keeps me compelled that way. But as you said, it's like the kids say from their perspective, 500 miles. It's almost like compare it to like even daylight savings time, where it outlives its usefulness. 500-mile races used to be the marathon, when engines may or may not last 500 miles. Engine builders can build engines. I mean, ask Chase Elliott, he might have a different answer today. But for the most part, that's an anomaly.
Sorry,
right?
I have to interrupt you, bud. The panning of the sad Chase Elliott fans, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant idea.
It was akin to like Eeyore in the rain almost. Like but like it's it was a rough day for Chase Elliott. And as I said, the engine builders can basically design and build an engine to go as long as you really want it to nowadays. It's not the big will the engine survive kind of part of it like it used to be.
Yeah.
So
every week an engine could fail.
Yeah.
Right? And we very rarely see that.
Like you said too, they aren't what they used to be. So I know
we had Noah Cornelius. Noah Cornelius is at the race saying, should I leave? Because this. I mean, and I tweeted with 30 laps to go. I'm like, congratulations, Kyle Larson, because I really thought it was over. But we've got a couple people that have actually been chatting with us, and I want to make sure that we, because we love fans, man. We love having these guys on here. Skins, thank you for coming back and watching us. GG once again. Gigi Patata, love that name. Degai Ball, thank you guys all for coming in and being a part of the show. We want to make sure that we mention your comments, and so keep them coming, please. Ask questions, do whatever you want, guys. So Skins, Larson lost. Let's go. Gigi, Blaney did it over the moon right now. Yeah, you know what? Me too. I'm a huge Blaney fan. I know this might be an odd question, but is Ryan Blaney the most good-looking race car driver in NASCAR right now, or is that Chase Elliott? Because I kind of feel as if there seems to be a very big hype around those two being like poster boys for the series. But I don't know, man. I wish I had the looks of Ryan Blaney. I tell you, that guy, with no mustache, got
that kind of scruffy look going too. They're almost like the Joel Robinson and Todd Lewis of America.
I think Joel would absolutely. If you guys don't know, Joel Robinson was on our show. Joel Robinson is the producer for the NASCAR Pinty series up here in Canada, and a legend if there was one. I think we should put that as a poll there, Graydon. We stick some pictures of Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott against Joel Robinson and see what we got. Skins, Deguy said, I thought Kyle Larson had it. You know what? I was certain he had it. And
I needed him to win for my fantasy team today because he was like he dominated. And the league I'm part of, they count points and laps led, and most laps led, and win. And the rest of my team was hot garbage today. So I really needed Larson to pull that off, and it really didn't. That broke my heart.
Well, it's interesting because Skins is in here. You know, he mentioned obviously Kurt Busch and Ricky Craven. That's actually Darlington, not Atlanta. So that's not actually the same, but again, it's talking about a race that was
finish,
500 miles, and that one was 400. But is 500 miles too long at Atlanta? I say yes. Way too long. 300 maybe. And then you make the Xfinity, you make trucks 100, and you make Xfinity 200. You know, it's too long.
I mean, they're playing with the double header thing with the trucks and Xfinity in the same day. Maybe they could look at splitting the cup race into two, like 150 lappers or something like that, or like make it.
I would rather that,
something like just another layer to it, that they'd be two sprint races and it would be essentially double points that day. That would entice them to kind of run harder. Like, I don't know logistically how that would work. I mean, backup cars are put it all aside. There needs to be format changes and a resurfacing to really make that place valid again, I think.
Well, we have a lot that we want to see on the 2022 schedule. I don't want to see two races at Atlanta ever again. I don't want two races at Dover ever again, at New Hampshire ever again. In reality, I want and maybe this is just me, but in reality, I think that your best chances of success are you have those really unique tracks having two races, but anything that's very similar, the Michigans, the Poconos, you give them one race, or you cut the race size down and do the two, like you had mentioned, to the two smaller races. Because again, restarts at Atlanta were great. They were exciting, but nothing else. You know, we had a very scary accident on pit road with Anthony Alfredo. I'm surprised at how there's, I would have thought somebody would have said something, or maybe it was just too loud or what, but it seemed like the crew was completely oblivious.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I've seen that since, normally we haven't had an accident, and they got away with that today. They did.
I was lucky
because yesterday's incident and then today is not a good look for the series. Especially with yesterday being what it was, whether you think it was intentional, whether you don't think it was intentional, oh crap. Gigi Patata says on Reddit, there's a pic of a poster in Atlanta confirming two races for 2022 in Atlanta. Ugh. But Gigi, I will say that the CEO of Atlanta Motor Speedway said they are planning on, or not that they're planning, but they're looking at repave for potentially for next year. So not by the end of this year, because they don't feel there's enough time, because apparently it's in July. I'm like, July race in Atlanta is going to be hot. Oh, that is going to be brutal for them. I did want to get back to him. Skins did ask a question, and I don't want to forget his question here. So when will Chase Elliott win his first race? You know what? I feel like he might be going through. He might get the slump. I feel like he kind of lucked into the championship last year, and that's just because that's how the series championships are now.
Mm-hmm.
But when will he win his first? That's tough. I say Coda. I think he'll win at Coda. What do you have, Graydon? It's a tough question.
It is a tough question. I mean, like, really, it could happen anywhere, I think, for Chase. maybe he is in a bit of a slump right now, but I think at the end of the day, Hendrick's getting their stuff together, and I think they'll. If not, we know Watkins Glen's in the summertime, so
yeah, it's one of those things. It's like it's funny because I find Chase is extremely similar to Ryan Blaney in that they're not out, they're not drivers that just go out and dominate. And week in and week out, you just expect that they're gonna win a race. I don't know, man. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if it's just a consistency issue or if it's just that's the way they are. But I'm just realizing my lighting is going away because the sun is setting. So
I will say when Ryan Blaney wins and he gives the flag away to a kid, like that just gets you. Oh, I love it.
Great moment. And Bubba Wallace came in and gave him a high five. Oof.
High beams.
High beams. That's right, buddy. And that's great. I love this. I love how you have who used to do that. Was it Kevin Harvick? I feel like Harvick used to do something like that, where he would give, or maybe he had a couple of races where he did that. But I saw somebody on social media basically saying, enough with the interviews on the track. Like we need to go back to victory lane. 1,000% agree. I like the moment with the fans, but we all, and I just want people to realize why they do that is because of the COVID situation. You can't have all the fans and stuff in the victory lane anymore. Right. And I don't even think they want the teams to be doing that. That's a NASCAR call. That's not a TV call. I don't believe. Overall, not really a great race. Cool finish.
Unexpected.
Unexpected. I'm glad to see it. 6 different winners in 6 weeks. That's fantastic.
That's what I would like to bring up. Actually, I'm glad you did, because this race may have been a snoozer, but the overall feel we're getting of the Cup Series, which I did not expect, and I've been kind of critical of the Cup Series, but at the same time, it's another thing that keeps me kind of compelled to seeing the people that are running well this year that we don't normally see, and that is worth tuning in week to week these days.
Daniel Suarez got 2 stage points for Trackhouse.
And that car is awesome looking too.
They had a unfortunate pit issue, but he still battled back and it got a top 20 finish. And I feel if their luck can continue to, people don't give enough credit to Justin Marks. He's a solid businessman. He knows what he's doing. Yep. And I really, really have a lot of faith. And I feel like out of the two, Suarez got worse of a dump than Eric Jones did. Let's be honest here. Jones, I don't believe, won them a championship. Suarez did. And he got the shaft much quicker. Now, again, it might come down to who the sponsor wanted, et cetera, right? But at the end of the day, Trackhouse looks much better. They're competing right with, I'd say, 2311 in terms of competitiveness right off the start. I think 2311 has a long way to go. I think people might and listen, I'm not going to go out here and say that I'm not a Bubba Wallace fan. I am. But I also felt for a long time that his ceiling was a 10th to 15th place guy. I don't know if I ever saw him being a top 5 win type of guy every week. I don't see a Denny Hamlin. Now, maybe it just takes time, right? We've kind of seen, over the years that you have to take a couple of years to be successful. Even with William Byron, man, he's been in the series and for a couple of years, but he hasn't had a breakout year. We don't see that anymore. You don't see the Jeff Gordons where they come out and they're just championship. Brad Keselowski, perfect example, champion within 2 years or 3 years. I think it was. He was running 09. He was running the part-time Mikasuki car, and then he's champion in 2012. This just doesn't seem to be the course of action. What do you think about Kevin Harvick in his struggles today? Is that indicative of how he's going to run all year, or is it just bad luck? Because we've seen it with Tony and we saw it with Jimmy where they just fall off a cliff.
If you look at Stewart-Haas as a whole, it doesn't really, I mean, as we've said before, Harvick is it's kind of like Harvick and the other guys over there, really. I mean,
that's
he's
a great
kind of on his
name.
own level in terms of driver
Harvick
caliber.
And the other guys. That's a great band name.
Yeah, kind of it. But it is. He's like the lead guy, right?
Yeah.
And he's got like the most chance of a solo career if you want to compare it to music. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, Briscoe, he's a stone cold rookie in the Cup Series.
He's looking like it.
He's as talented as all get out.
Yeah.
But this is uncharted water to him. So, I mean, he's going to it's obviously taking some time, but maybe what if Stewart-Haas, they sure don't look as sharp.
Almirola does not look good, and Custer's been mediocre.
So I don't think it's necessarily Harvick's problem per se. Maybe there is something that has his focus elsewhere, but I think it might be more of a company-wide issue as well, though.
Well, I mean, I think we can also talk about like equipment. Chase Briscoe in that 98 compared to where the 98 is right now. And I'm not going to shit on Riley Herbst, although I mean, I could. It's very clear that that's not Chase Briscoe in that 98 this year.
Yeah.
But we saw the 14. It wasn't the strongest Stewart-Haas car in the past couple of years either. I think without a doubt how this year finishes, something is happening at that team this year, at the end of this year. I don't know if it's Almirola or if it's Harvick. I know Harvick, I think, signed on for 2022, whether he announces like his retirement, but I think something is going to give there.
Yeah.
Maybe for all we know,
or something, or...
yeah, like crew chiefs or something, because I don't know and I don't see Chase Briscoe's, if Mike Bugaravich is still the crew chief, I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't see Chase Briscoe needing a crew chief that like Clint Boyer needed. Like that doesn't.
I could see Rodney going to Chase Briscoe, honestly.
That would be, I feel like, a very good combination. But again, Harvick is still signed on for 2022, right?
Yeah.
Overall, the weekend to me was a placeholder. I was not this excited for dirt on Bristol, but I have to be honest, man. I'm really looking forward to it. And as long as the track can hold up and it's not just a complete dumpster fire, I want to actually see them race and not wrecking at every corner of every lap, because we will never get through the race. What's very interesting, Graydon, is that TSN 2 is going to have the truck race this week, because our boy Tony Spiteri and Pinty's, they're the ones that are sponsoring this. So TSN and Fox, to their credit, are giving up the rights, I believe, to TSN, which I'm not sure if TSN, somebody did point it out. I think TSN has done the truck broadcast at Mosport once, but that was it.
I think so. Yeah.
And so this is an awesome opportunity. This is a time for fans
Our man Tony going to bat.
I mean, Tony, Pinty's, they do so much for racing. It is incredible what they've done. Yeah. And they're sponsoring the festivities at Bristol. And I think we're going to hopefully see a very, very fun race. I want to see Jessica Friesen run. So I hope there's not I hope she doesn't get unable to qualify because there's too many trucks and she gets ousted by a Cup guy. Like, I'd really hate that, because all the Cup guys are going in there just so they can try and get more experience, which I don't like either. I think it's an unfair advantage. I get it. I totally get it. But and there would be nothing better than Bubba Wallace winning a truck race to shut everybody up. But I think
somehow, again, I don't know if it would shut everybody up.
No, it'd probably make people worse, really. Yeah, you're totally right. It would make it it would probably make it worse. But people forget that when we went to Eldora, Bubba Wallace won. I believe he won the first one, didn't he?
Yep.
And then I think Austin did Austin Dillon win? He won that in the number 39, I think.
Yeah.
And then
that's right.
Christopher Bell won in his like second or third start. Stuart Friesen's won that race, Matt Crafton. So, I mean, who knows what we're going to see? But one of the things that's going to be very interesting, Graydon, is that Bristol is not an actual dirt track. So I wonder how it's going to go. Like, I wonder how, like, I don't know if it affects the grip or if it affects the surface because of the weight, but I'm excited, man. I'm ready for this. And I don't know if it rains and it's not like a soaking, can they, do they, I don't even know in dirt racing, do they race in the rain? I couldn't tell you. I don't know if anybody in the chat can let me know. Cause I don't really, I don't know.
I think it would muddy that
dirt racing
dirt up too bad.
Maybe, but if it's something like a light sprinkle, they can probably still race, right? I would imagine. Cause the track's wet.
Extent, I would think so.
The track's wet when they start.
Yeah, it does have to have a little tack to it. But there's like a fine line between tack and then turning it into just a mudslide.
Yeah. So
I'll tell you, before I jumped on here, my dad has gotten into like, he just picks Harvick like Jessica picks Hamlin usually because it's like he loves that we do these pick things. So he called like he's gotten into the habit of calling like right after the checker waves basically on Sundays to see how everybody did, and that's what he said. Like just Atlanta is what it is, and my dad for whatever reason is not a huge Bristol fan.
Really,
and he said that he is looking forward to Bristol more so now than he has in a long time, just because it's something new, which is
probably since 2007 when they ruined the track. Yeah.
And for demographic purposes, my dad is 68 years old, so he's kind of the older crowd.
Yeah.
Which I find kind of fun. I don't know what it is about Bristol particularly that I think he's probably just more of, he's a Dale Earnhardt fan, right? So he was more of the bottom conveyor belt kind of style Bristol, and when they kind of ground it and blew it
so
up,
good, man.
That turned him right off it, I think. But at any rate, my old man's psyched for some dirt racing, which it was kind of neat to hear him fired up because he hasn't been lately.
I just want to see passing, man. I want to be even pass. I don't want to see a conveyor belt, and I don't want to see Kyle Larson just be the guy that goes up there and spanks the whole field. And I'm afraid that that's going to happen. Very interesting note, though, is that the heat races aren't on Sunday. They are on Saturday as part of the qualifying. So make sure you guys are tuning in because the truck race is on Saturday along with the heat races. Now, I don't know if they mentioned if they're doing the heat races for trucks as well. I honestly don't know. It is a shame, though, that they don't have Xfinity there this weekend. I know that they're going to get ready for Xfinity at Martinsville, which I think Noah Gragson might be a target for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I actually expect Noah to win at Martinsville. It's a Noah track.
I'll tell you, he's gonna he'll want to be up front where hopefully nobody can get him. That's for sure. I think.
I do. I mean, I
think he'll be very motivated. Let's put it that way.
Yes. Yeah, I think so too.
I'll say it like that.
Like I said, if I'm being completely honest, I see him going to the 37 next year. I don't see him as ally material for the 48. I just don't. That's not a fit. And if Ally is going to move, they're going to the 5. They're not going to the 4. They're not going with him. And Byron's not going anywhere. And Elliot for sure is not going anywhere. So if you do see him going somewhere, it's he is going to a affiliate. Now there's talk, of course, about that JTG might be going to Toyota. If that does happen, then maybe he goes to like Ganassi because we know Kurt Busch is retiring. So I see him as a good fit with Monster, but the only downside would be him and Riley, probably not a good combination on the Monster front. So, so we're also just going to finish up here with mentioning where we're headed as Stickers and Scuffs podcast. We've got a new name. We in the couple weeks that we've been off, we did separate from Race Canada, but we want to be very clear that we 1,000% still support Race Canada and Mike Sullivan. We want to thank him for everything that he did for us. He gave us the courage to do this, and he had belief in us. But we felt that it was time for us to kind of venture out on our own and focus specifically on our main interest, which is NASCAR and the NASCAR Pinty Series. So we thank him. We will definitely have audience. We want to push them towards his stuff and towards his race shop, which he's working on. I'm getting out some diecast. He's got lots of NASCAR diecast. So if you're in Canada, of course, great place to check out. So he should be, I believe he's relaunching that pretty soon. But we wanted to say thank you to him specifically in this and let you know that we are continuing as Stickers and Scuffs podcast. Graydon came up with this name. It's a great name. I absolutely love it. We've got the brand new clean stickers right here. And then you got the backwoods dirty and tough scuff tires over there.
The old scuffer.
Muskoka tough tires. And
got a few laps on me.
He's got a few laps on him, but together we still serve a purpose and still we're able to work together to get you get victory. So we have our last interview as fan side as part of Race Canada is going to release next week with Gary Clute. And then we'll have some new podcasts with some new and exciting guests coming really soon. We have a website, our Facebook. Make sure you guys check us out there. Stickers and Scuffs podcast on there. And we are also on a lot of social media on Instagram. We're both on Twitter at CamK Racing. Graydon is at Smooth Operator 88. But if you can't figure that out, just check out our bios. We have each other tagged in there. So if you want to find us there, we'll also have a Twitter account coming out. And we're also available on Spotify. We're available on Google Podcasts coming soon. It has not fully launched yet. Breaker, we're also on Radio Public. So we've got a lot of options there. We're working on iTunes as well. We haven't heard back from them yet. As well as our YouTube channel, which we will have weekly content updates along with hopefully, I think for sure we've already talked about, we want to talk about Bristol after the races next week. We also have Graydon's boys, the Bun Sons, who've been upgraded. They are no longer junior correspondents. They are called junior co-hosts of Stickers and Scuffs podcast. They have their own segment on the channel. We're going to hopefully do a little bit more with them, including paint scheme reveals, paint scheme judging in a way. And we're really excited to show you guys their artwork, their designs.
They've been busy.
Graydon has been training the boys very well to showcase their love of racing. And I will say they're the most knowledgeable fans for their ages I've ever met. Reminds me of myself, which, if anybody knows me when I was a kid, I was NASCAR everything, and I really haven't changed. And then we have a website as well that we're hoping to get that launched out for you. All of our previous episodes as a part of Fanside are available. You can check them out on racecanada.ca or on any of those other streaming platforms. Some of our video episodes are also still involved are on our YouTube channel. But, we just want to thank everybody for coming aboard. And, if you can, guys, share. We're looking for more friends, and we love to chat racing. Graydon, I've been chatting for quite a bit here. So what do you have to say about all this?
You're doing a great job, bud.
Thank you.
I just want to say I don't want to repeat a lot of what you said, but the boys and I are extremely excited. Jessica even has a small role in this little venture too. So it's kind of the whole fun for the whole family. It's it's great to, as you said, we're very grateful to Mike and Race Canada, but we are also equally as excited to be trying this out on our own, and we're going to have some great content coming at you. We have some great interviews lined up, and just stay tuned because we're excited to roll this stuff out.
It's the absolute truth. We live and breathe racing and motorsports, and at the end of the day, NASCAR is what we align our homes with, and it's the one thing that we can always talk about, because it's the one thing that we've been probably the biggest fans of. We could have talked IndyCar, we could have talked open wheel stuff, but at the end of the day, I should really close my screen door, man, because all I can smell is the McDonald's across the street from me.
Oh man,
this is absolutely brutal. I'm like sitting here and like chicken nugget and French fry aroma. Oh,
we scratched that little itch for dinner with the Pinty's boneless wings tonight.
Did you?
So, yeah,
sure just did. A little product placement right there. We're all about our Pinty's on this.
Had to throw that out there.
We're all about Pinty's on the channel here. And while we don't have a ton of people watching us right now, we appreciate anybody that comes in and wants to view us. It
very much. Yeah.
We understand that it's YouTube is and in general content creating is about uploading as much as possible. Well, Graydon and I both have full-time jobs, so we kind of have to do this in between that. Graydon technically has 2 full-time jobs because he's got 2 boys to take care of as well. So it is a task to try and get together, but when we do, we get to talk racing and we absolutely love it. And one of the things that we had the opportunity to do was to chat and answer questions when we had the Daytona race, and that was the coolest thing ever. And I know we have a lot of competition too. There is a ton of racing podcasts, there's a ton of racing YouTubers, and we hope to try and get some of those people on here, chat about it. But I think we're one of the only ones up in Canada focusing primarily on the NASCAR Pinty series. So there's some real exciting stuff happening there, and we really do hope to get to be at the racetrack talking about it really soon. But thank you all for tuning in to our live stream tonight. We'll be back at it real soon. Stickers and Scuffs podcast on YouTube. Again, follow us on social media and, give us a listen. Maybe you might like it. So, Graydon, anything else to say before we wrap it up?
Well, again, to everyone that's tuning in and gives us a listen and maybe checks out some of our old stuff that's on the website, thanks very much. And we're going to be rolling out some great stuff. As you said, we're going to put out as much stuff as we can when we can do it, and we hope you'll check it out and enjoy.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Stickers and Scuffs podcast on YouTube. My name is Cam K, and I've been along here with Graydon Bunn. We reviewed everything at Atlanta this week. We fell asleep through most of it, but at least it was racing. We'll look forward to Bristol on the dirt. First time in a long time that the Cup Series has been on dirt, so we're going to be very excited to talk about that. We will catch you all next week, but keep it tuned right here to the channel